Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We're going to be doing a quick Q&A from Death's Playgrounds developer. We got the chance to ask him a few questions and he answered them luckily enough. And we're going to show you a few things that he's working on with these questions. After that, you might even be able to see a top 10 suggested quick changes that could improve the game right now, maybe a little later on today, maybe tomorrow. So let's get into the questions. Hope you guys enjoy this. So the first question I was able to ask was, currently there's only one monster in the game for players to play as. How soon can players expect to see new monsters? And I was mistaken when I said monsters. The term they use for their killers is actually just straight up murderers. So that's actually pretty awesome. The answer was, I am currently working on a second monster for more diversity of gameplay on the killer side. It should come out by the end of this month. Unlike in Dead by Daylight, her own map and her rival survivor will have to wait a little longer due to the lack of time, because once again, this game is developed by one person. They do all the 3D modeling, which is their weakest game development ability, and they do all of the map design, asset building, and programming as well. So we do have another killer on the way. Apparently it's a female, so there you go. A little spoiler right there. Next question was, you recently added a map in the game for survivors to find themselves around the map. I read that wrong, actually. You recently added a mini-map in the game for survivors to find themselves around the map. Are there any other quality of life changes coming down the pipe? The answer to that was, I've been changing and adding new little details to help improve the feeling of the game. The minimap was a very requested feature, which I am thinking of adding a more newbie-friendly survivor with various abilities with the map itself to help locate him and help the team with it. A few more features are on plans for further out. They are mostly UI related to help understand what your character is doing and how you are receiving points, money, and what happens as you progress through the map. Many other small features like the map might be added throughout the ride. It's just a matter of the idea coming into my brain and through feedback when I see people are struggling with something. Nonetheless, each map will bring a different set of objectives with its own story behind it. So we have confirmation that the mini-map and little changes like that will be coming as the developer receives feedback. So the more you play the game, the more feedback you can give, make it constructive, and understand that it's a single person developer. This is the only one person that is making this game, but the mini-map was actually instituted pretty quickly, I think, after all the requests for it. So you can also see that new maps are coming down the pipes, and each map will have its own story and its own objectives. But we have a single developer who is listening to the feedback that they get, and the one way you can actually guarantee that you get to play the game is no matter what happens, even if there's no one else playing the game other than you at the moment, is the game after about 2.5 minutes of searching for a game will just put you into a game with bots, and the bots, you can play against those, and you still get the feel of the game. But if you have a crew of 5 people, 4 people can play the survivors, 1 person can play the monster, you're good to go. If you have 4 people and you just want to play the survivor side, you can still do that too. You can all queue up and it'll eventually just put you up against a bot monster. Next, how do you plan on monetizing the game? Are you planning on a one-time purchase, or do you plan on adding cosmetic purchases or paid new maps, etc.? Answer for this was, as for now, I'm trying to save some money so in the future I can have a team working with me with the things I am worse at, especially 3D modeling. They'll create cosmetics, new characters, and maps, but only cosmetics and characters will need to be unlocked with in-game money as well. So apparently right now it's just a one-time purchase of the game, which is about $5, not very bad at all. And after that, you just use your in-game currency to purchase items. Now there's nothing on the shops just yet. I know, I've checked. I've actually grind out almost full skill tree on one of the monsters and the survivors, so no in-game shop just yet, but you can level up your skills and stuff like that to make your characters more formidable, and save up in-game money as well, so that when something does come into the shop, you can just purchase it right away. My next question was, what sort of community growth effort do you have planned? The answer was, I am expecting to create a fun, participative community who is deeply in love with horror and scary stuff. I am doing my research with some help as we speak, and while creating the new murderer as to how to approach different communities and how to invite them to feel at home in this place of scares. The Discord server should serve as a great connector between those like-minded people. Many might not even have the game itself, but participate in the community through storytelling, memes, and creepypasta sharing, talking about movies, and even giving ideas for the game. Right now, they're really focused on building community in Discord. Not very busy at the moment, but if you go in there and you start enjoying the game or seeing what the game can improve and stuff like that, giving constructive feedback, talking about some of the things that you've noticed, like the rats that are worshiping or praying at a sacrificial site in this one little corner that for some reason I can never seem to find again. I think it was just a Christmas only thing, unfortunately, but you can find little details like that. You can try and find all the Easter eggs on the current map. There are little things like that, but it seems like they really want to focus on the scares and the horror aspect in the game more so than the chase and brutality and stuff like that of other games like Dead by Daylight, which is perfectly fine, and it's an interesting different way to go. Next question was, have you considered looking for content creators to be sort of ambassadors for the game, similar to the Fog Whisperers program in Dead by Daylight or the Rewinders program in Video Horror Society? The answer was, I have thought about contacting some of the Fog Whisperers, as I love their content and emotion sharing through their streams. I've been following quite a few of them for a while now since I started playing Dead by Daylight. I haven't thought about giving a name for mine yet, but that's an amazing idea. I'll have to go through with that. So they have ideas. They would like the idea of creating their own little section or group of content creators that promote the game. Right now, I think the what is it? The working idea name for the group of content creators would be the Playground Clan or something like that. But apparently, it's still all up in the works, all up for revision. So if you're wanting to get in on the ground floor, now would be the time to, and now would also be the time to, contact the developer and say, hey, I'm interested in promoting your game, like this video is doing right now. See what they say. Next up, you just recently ended the Christmas event in the game. What other holidays or events are you planning on adding to the game? The answer was, as for now, I'm only going for bigger holidays that affect everyone the most, and for longer, as well as the ones that make more sense in the horror scene. These events are supposed to bring different ways of interaction between players, like the Christmas presents and the snowball launcher weapon, as well as some sneaky stuff like the creepy old clock. The Christmas event wasn't a very detailed event, but summer and Halloween surely will be bigger and more game-changing. Easter will be around kind of shortly, and I'll create something more similar to the Christmas event, but with different things coming into the game. Some might even stick to it eternally. So with that, we know that we're getting at least maybe a Easter event, summer event, Halloween event, and Christmas events. So bigger events, and maybe down the line they'll start doing things like anniversary events and stuff like that. And next up, you're actively looking for 3D modelers on the home screen. Are you looking for more people to help with new and unique assets? The quick answer was, as I said in another answer, my 3D modeling skills fall behind my programming, which is sad because otherwise the game could have a greater potential with many visual effects and creepier paranormal stuff happening. I am hoping that someday I can find someone that with the skill and that is willing to help, either through monetization or by the love of the art, depending on the game's success. These would especially help with the design of the map, characters, and creation of skins. Probably some visual effects and user interface as well as helping with brainstorming for user experience. So they are looking to get a 3D modeler at least into the game. They want to improve and what's the best way to phrase it? Codify or solidify the aesthetics of their game. And they are looking to make everything look correct and look uniform within their game according to their own style. So a dedicated 3D modeler would be able to do that. It'd be interesting to see what the maps look like, or the current map looks like once the dedicated 3D modeler came in and actually just went through each asset and just said, okay, here's what it's going to look like now. I'm going to refine it. I'm going to put the more professional touch on it. And when I say more professional touch, I mean like the developer says 3D modeling is not their strong suit. They've done what they could. More experienced and more talented 3D modeler can come in and say, here's what I can do. Here's how it looks better. I'm going to put on these better textures, stuff like that. And the map for now is serviceable and looks pretty good as far as someone who says they don't have much talent can make, and I don't think I could make it at all, so I'm not judging. But as soon as they get a dedicated 3D modeler, we'll probably see a fairly quick revision of the game's aesthetics, which I'm kind of excited to see. After that, we have, when can players expect to see new maps? The answer to this one is, I can't say that exactly for sure, because the current map took me about a month and a half to put together with creation of assets as well as Easter egging the whole thing. What I can say for now is that the next map will either be an asylum where your last objective is to rescue a person who was once a survivor part of your organization, or an older abandoned village with some common references to Portuguese villages. Nonetheless, they are both pretty dark, so you don't see danger coming towards you. I can say that I am not planning to start working on a new map before the end of March because for now there's a new killer coming, some advertisement to improve, community building, and a creation of a new survivor. If all goes according to plan, I think by June there should be a new map, so actually not that far away. That's less than 4 months away for a new map. We know we're getting a new killer maybe by the end of March, and maybe a new survivor between March and June, which that's actually a solid amount of content coming out in just the next couple of months. But these were the questions that I was able to ask and get answers for. I can actually usually pretty commonly get a hold of them, and they respond fairly quickly about the game. If you guys have any other questions or are curious about different things, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be happy to ask those questions and maybe make another Q&A video for the game. I will say that while the game is clearly in very, very early development, and there are things like UI issues and stuff like that they are serviceable and work. They can obviously be polished up. Everything can be polished up in any game that you look at. So the game is enjoyable. I've only been able to play it with bots so far, but I have plans for at least 3 other small streamers to come in and play the game with me. So hopefully by that time, maybe the new killer will be out, or maybe the new survivor will be out. But I'm hoping within the next week or 2 to get those 3 survivors in on one stream so that we can play the game together. And you guys can look forward to that. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope all this information was something that, helped you kind of get into the game and check it out. Death's Playground. If you have any other questions or comments, let me know down below. And I hope you all have a great day. And as always, stay positive.